Hey, hot humans and complicated babies as well. It's your pal Day9, and we're about to embark upon something that you've probably been waiting all Christmas break for. My MTG Phyrexia All Will Be One card review. I have seen virtually nothing of the cards that are going to be released in MTG ONE, which is the tagline for the set MTG ONE. Um, I don't even really know some of the mechanics in this thing. So what we're going to do is remind all of you that I've never been wrong in these card reviews before. And if you ever want me to change my review, as long as the bribe is 5 gifted subs, you tell me the rating I should have given the card and we'll move on. Now, some reminders before I return to being a utter goof. Card reviews are meant to be fun. If I'm wrong, I don't really care. The silliness will be the focus and just getting a chance to look at the cards and think about Magic because it's pretty fun. And another thing, there's going to be a lot of cards that we look at that are like just filler dregs nonsense. Like, I'll just skip it. If I'm not interested in reviewing it, I'll just pass through it. Otherwise, I'm never going to finish this. And so, with that in mind, let's begin checking out Against All Odds. 3 and a white for a sorcery. Choose one or both. Exile target artifact or creature you control. Then return it to the battlefield under its owner's end step. Great, a flicker effect. Return target artifact or creature with card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. This is a limited card if I ever saw one. First of all, it has the word sorcery on it, which is not a keyword that you see in constructed Magic. Also, it costs 4. So flickering for 4, there's instant speed like flicker for 1 kind of things in constructed. Return target artifact or creature. Yeah, I know. It's like ridiculous, isn't it? What do you think, Despy? Despy doesn't react. She just wants some scritches. And also, it's return an artifact or creature from the graveyard to the battlefield. This is overcosted for the effect, so this is a limited at a 5. And Eccentrate. Let me stop and remind you that my favorite plane is Phyrexia. I think the Phyrexians are rad. Okay. That's daddy's water. Phyrexia is my favorite plane, and a lot of the art in Phyrexia takes some inspiration from my favorite artist of all time, a Polish artist named Beksiński. And so anytime I see something that is evocative of some of Beksiński style art, I get all giddy. This is a little less Beksiński, but still makes me go get all excited because I do like that sort of, I like the blend of horror and fantasy quite a bit. Hence, why I love Dark Souls, I love Elden Ring, you know what I mean? All right, 2 and a white for a Phyrexian Cleric. That's a 1/4. Toxic 1. Players dealt combat damage by this creature also get a poison counter. Oh, that's right. Poison's back. Oh, all of you are going to learn to love poison again. Let me stop. What's a poison counter? Okay, what's a poison counter? I haven't even read the rest of this. What's a poison counter? If a unit has a poison counter on it, it gets -1/-1 per counter. If a creature, if a player has a poison counter, and then they get 10 poison counters, they lose the game. That's infect, not toxic. Creatures can't get poison counters. Oh, I'm melting it with infect. Okay, so I thought this says players dealt combat damage by this creature also, I thought it was creatures and enemy players get a poison counter. Got it. That's great. That's terrific. So, toxic looks like it's just applying poison counters to players. And let's move this little baby out of the way. Yeah, so I feel like there's a question that I saw recently about why did they create a keyword that says toxic instead of saying something like just... They could have just put this text. Players but dealt combat damage by this creature also get a poison counter. A benefit of creating one keyword of abstraction is that you can then interact with that keyword of abstraction. So you could say something like, oh, this enchantment gives +1/+1 to all creatures with toxic. You can also have something like this could be buffed to be a 4/4, but it still only puts 1 poison counter on the creature. So it's a way to kind of like switch some of the problems around by setting a keyword on top of these mechanics. I think it's really clever. So an Annex Sentry enters the battlefield. Exile target artifact or creature an opponent controls with mana value 3 or less until Annex Sentry leaves the battlefield. This is a great effect. This is a really solid little card. This is basically... Despy. Hey, what do you... It's going to be one of those days, huh? Come here. Come here. Come on. You just... All right, where do you want to go? We're never going to finish this review, are we? Yep, effects like this always seem to show up, like 3 mana enchantments and creatures that can exile thing. This has the restriction that it's mana value 3 or less. It also hits artifacts. So this is going to be a really solid little limited card. Is that where we're going to be? Is this it? Is this it? All right. Apostle of Invasion. 4 and a pair of whites. Ooh, this style, this actually takes a little bit of the Cenobite looks. All right, the Cenobites from the Hellraiser series who can't tell the difference between pleasure and pain. This is very Cenobite-like. Flying 4/4 corrupted. As long as an opponent has 3 or more poison counters, Apostle of Invasion has double strike. Ooh, this is, oh my god, Magic the Gathering. Wizards is good at what they do. I really like the interaction with poison counters because one of the things that really kind of feels good emotionally is binary events. Maybe we're not even going to review cards. We're just going to talk about game design. Binary events feel good. Like, you discarded a card. You have the card, now you don't have the card. Or in RPGs, here's plate mail. You can't equip it until you have 65 strength. Hey, I have 65 strength. I can put on the plate mail now. I went from not being able to have a thing, and now I have the thing. The example of plate mail is a good example of how strength can just be going up a little bit at a time, and it's hard to feel the difference between 70 strength and 71 strength. But if at 71 strength you get to put on the plate mail, suddenly there's a clear, clean binary switched, and that feels really good. But again, some of the problem with binaries is that you can make progress towards a binary goal, and then you don't succeed. So, for instance, I have played games with Infect where I have my opponent at 8 poison counters, and I'm like, all right, and I can't get through anymore. I don't have any creatures with poison anymore, so that's that. I guess these poison counters don't matter at all anymore, and now I have to go back and focus on health. So, the Apostle of Invasion, this whole corrupted thing is a great way to give you a binary goal, and if you're not quite there, if you're not nailing it, you still have some nice benefits. Apostle of Invasion feels great. And Conan says that's what proliferates for, but let me delineate between health and then poison. With health, almost everything in the game can interact with health. Every creature can interact with players' life and health total. So you can just keep attacking them. If your opponent is at 2 health and I have no creatures and no cards, if I just draw a creature or a burn spell or anything, I can interact with this very relevant goal of winning this game, bringing this health down. But with poison, not all things have infect. Proliferate is a kind of rare design. It's not as frequent as something like creatures. Creatures are way more common than the proliferate keyword. So a thing like the proliferate keyword or more creatures with infect can help this. But regardless, even if you have a set that has the proliferate keyword and has the infect keyword, you can be that player that you wind up getting most of the way towards filling your opponent with poison counters, and then you can't quite get there, and then you didn't succeed at this goal, and you have to kind of abandon it entirely. And so I think things like Corrupted are a great way to give that sort of partial feeling, All right, Ghosty, let me adjust this thing real fast. I'm surprised that this is the setting issue that you're getting, but does this look better, Ghosty? It surprises me. All right, so this one is a cool limited card and a neat design, 0 out of 5. Basilica Shepherd, 3 and a pair of whites flying. When Basilica Shepherd enters the battlefield, create 2 colorless 1/1 Phyrexian Might artifact creature tokens with Toxic 1, and this creature can't block. What? Dude, I'm more excited about Phyrexian Mites. Holy shit. I think Phyrexian Mites get a 5 out of 5. Wow. Yeah, Ghosty, I went in the opposite direction of what you said, because that's the only thing that could have been possible. So, I don't know. It'll probably futz up in a little bit. Um, yeah, this is common dreg nonsense, but those mites are going to be obnoxious and limited. Dude, this is such a killer mite enabler. Oh my god, this is great. Ooh! Yeah, mite's definitely better than Power Stones. You're right, Disastro7. Bladed Ambassador. Dude, look at how this blade is the same visual as this face covering helmet. I don't know if this is skin, but you know, whatever. That's good stuff. Bladed Ambassador enters battlefield with an oil counter on it. Remove an oil counter from Bladed Ambassador. Bladed Ambassador gains indestructible until end of turn. Huh. Whoa. This is actually pretty good. I mean, a 3-1 for 2 is a common aggressive white weenie stat line in Constructed, and the fact that it can gain a temporary indestructible. And so if I understand oil counters, I mean, this is the first time I've ever seen the word oil counter. If I understand, oil counter is probably a type of counter that was invented that is a resource that creatures just in this set use. You know, a spell that says put 3 oil counters on something. I don't know in the lore what oil is, but, you know, the hybridity of man and machine. You know, oh yeah, this human, yeah, pump his guts full of oil, man. Seems fine. Yeah, I mean, this seems absolutely spectacular. I'd give this a 4 out of 5 in limited and constructed. Standard constructed, I don't play none of that legacy nonsense. So, yeah, no, seems great. The ability to be indestructible is rad. This seems great. This seems super, super great. Charge of the Mites, 2 and a white. Choose one. Charge of the Mites deals damage equal to the number of creatures you control to target creature or planeswalker. Oh, finally. Finally, we have some more nice, solid white removal. Create 2 1/1 colorless Phyrexian Mite artifact creature tokens with toxic 1, and this creature can't block. Okay, so, I mean, maybe I'm kind of crazy, but I would rate this somewhat highly. Look at that art, man. Oh my god. This is what it feels like being at the dentist, doesn't it? Doesn't it just feel like the most dentist kind of nightmare? Teeth. All will be teeth. Yeah, stunningly good Mite Enabler. Really good for clearing out the way if I'm trying to swarm. It seems a little overcosted if I'm trying to build this in Constructed, but instant speed, make a pair of 1/1s. I mean, that's pretty good. So I'd rate this as like maybe a 1 or 2 in Constructed. It seems like it has some likes. Probably like a 4 or 5 in Limited, because this seems like the most enabler. Look at me. I'm throwing out 5s right away. We're feeling good. Compleat Devotion. By the way, if any of you try to get me to pronounce that as complete, I'm not doing it, right? Because this implies pleated pants, right? So I'm not going to ever view this as pleat. This is Compleat Devotion, 100%. 1 and a white, target creature you control gets ++ to end of turn. If that creature has toxic, draw a card. Wait, yo, dude. Draws a card. I think you're actually pronouncing it canonically right. Dude, let me tell you, canon is irrelevant to me. I am a broadcaster, and so people say, Sean, it's pronounced exactly the same as complete. And to those people that have been spamming my chat for months, this is complete. And you have to, at the very end, just like that. You know what I mean? It's complete devotion. Right, Despers? All right. This card's, I mean, this is amazing that it lets you draw, but this is absolute garbage, except in Constructed. Or excuse me, except in limited. Except in limited. Crawling Chorus. I saw this art on Twitter. This is amazing. This is a white 1/1 with Toxic 1. When Crawling Chorus dies, create a 1/1 colorless Phyrexian Might creature. Oh! Yeah, I mean, this seems fine. I think that, like, one of the things that's weird about Toxic 1 is that it's just adding poison counters. So this means that there's something very analytically different in terms of attacking with a bunch of 1/1s that have Infect, because it can just pull things way down in terms of power when you're just swinging out. So I would probably rate this. I mean, this is all limited stuff. This is a limited might deck thing. Duelist of Deep Faith. 1 and a white for a 2/2 a Toxic 1. As long as it's your turn, Duelist of Deep Faith has first strike. Amazing limited card. Absolutely stunning limited card. This is so good. Exactly the kind of one that I want. I don't think it's nearly as good as this guy, Bladed Ambassador. Swinging for 3 and getting indestructible to allow you to trade up, or just to prevent your opponent from blocking is stunning. But again, very limited. Really cool to see the toxic type stuff come together. Elesh Norn, Mother of Machines. 4 and a white for a 4/7 with Vigilance. If a permanent entering the ability... Okay, yeah, sure. Here we go. Everyone get ready. If a permanent entering the battlefield causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. Permanents entering the battlefield don't cause abilities of permanents your opponent control to trigger. So this is a doubler of trigger effects and a preventer of trigger effects all at the same time. So this is just stupidly good. Stupidly good. Stormlock says, this is some Yu-Gi-Oh! Level text. This isn't even a complicated pile of text here, Stormlock, for Magic. Yu-Gi-Oh! Would actually have a chapter segment in a table of contents. This is cheap for a 4/7. It has Vigilance. I mean, just the sheer amount of words and stats on this is incredible. I mean, this is incredible. No more ETB effects for villain. Lots of ETB effects for you. Yeah, no, I would probably rate this minimum 3 out of 5 in constructed. 5 out of 5 in limited. I mean, this is huge. This is a really... It's time to use that Magic term that you need to know that we're Magic players when we describe this. Amazing body on Elesh Norn. For 5, a 4/7, incredible body. The something Wanderer, I don't know, I can't quite... I mean, I need this border. I'm actually going to hire an artist to just paint over this. All right, it's the Eternal Wanderer. Oh my god, the hunt is Eternal. Eternal. 4 and a pair of whites for a 5, a loyalty planeswalker. No more than one creature can attack the Eternal Wanderer each combat. Oh, that's a weird form of protection, huh? Create a 2/2 white samurai creature token with double strike. That's another form of protection. Exile up to 1 target artifact or creature. Return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. Kind of flickerish. -4 for each player. Choose a creature that player controls. Each player sacrifices all creatures they control not chosen this way. Huh. I mean... This is an absolute limited shit on you card. Constructed, this is a incredibly solid control card. It is effectively a sweeper, because for the -4, you kill everything but one creature. So if I have a creature and you have a bunch, I can play the Eternal Wanderer, kill all but a single one of your babies, and then I have a baby to be able to block and hang on. But then in addition, it's just making double striking white samurais. And it also lets me duplicate ETB effects. This is a 5 across the board. This is great. This is just a terrific card. Honestly, dropping a 6 power, 5 loyalty planeswalker, where only one creature can attack each combat, means that I can just drop it and smash that 0 button a bunch. Flensing Raptor. Flensing sounds like a... Is flensing a word? Because it sounds like a fake word. It sounds like if you had an AI try to come up with words that Sims would use. Flensing would be. It's a real word? No. Hold on. By the way, you need to plug that back into your computer. There you go. Let me go ahead and go to Merriam-Webster's dictionary. Let's go ahead and look up flensing. Flensing. To strip of blubber or skin. So this is flensing raptor. Flensing raptor. Oh yeah, flensing. No, this is, we use a Z here on day 92. This is a flenzingering raptor. Alright, the Zinging Raptor is 2 and a white for a flying toxic. When flying raptor enters battlefield, another target creature you control with toxic gets +1/+1 and gains flying until end of turn. I assume due to all the flensing. Alright. This card looks terrible. I mean, I'm sure that toxic is good and it enables toxic and then toxic, but you know, the important thing is that this is actually not a word. This is someone mistyped fencing raptor. That's probably what's happening here. Gold Warden's Helm, 2 and a white for Mirrodin. When this equipment enters the battlefield, create a 2/2 red rebel creature token, then attach this to it. Is for Mirrodin with the exclamation mark? Is that the keyword? Really? Are we going to start having emojis as part of our keywords? For Mirrodin, perfect 100, creates a 2/2 red rebel creature token, then attach this to it. All right. So equipped creature gets +0/+1. Wow, this... I mean, this is terrible. I mean, like, we found our first -5 out of 5. This sucks, man. This, like, really, holy shit. Well, I mean, it's probably because this is a helmet that was made for elephants. And you can imagine a human doing that. They're probably trying to shove their arm through those tusk holes. No wonder they're only getting +0/+1. They're all clumsy. Yeah, this thing's terrible. Hex Gold Hover Wings. 3 and a white for Mirrodin. When this equipment enters the battlefield, create a 2/2 red rebel creature token. It's flying. Creatures you control that are equipped get big. All right, so... I mean, what's happening with this leg? Why is this leg up? Did, like, her leg... Does she have a cramp? Did she just get done with a quad stretch? All right, I guess this is... I think these are all terrible. I think these are all just... Wow. For Mirrodin! When it enters the battlefield, make a mediocre creature and attach this and give it these mediocre effects. Yeah, go flens yourself. I'm not going to rate that beyond a 0. Incisor Glider. Well, will we perhaps see in blue a Molar Bear? All right, let's see. The Incisor Glider, 1 and a white for a 1/3 flyer. Whenever Incisor Glider attacks, an opponent has 3 or more poison counters. Creatures you control plus until end of turn. All right, this is actually an excellent white weenie payoff in limited. It's not going to be very good in constructed. Although I do like these sort of opalescent baubles in the back. Indoctrination Attendant. That's you. Here you are. There's 2 of your arms going up. Here's the other 2 of your arms holding my head. Be like, tell me how the cards are good. There you are, man. You're attending the indoctrination. It's fantastic. 3 and a white for a 3/4 with Toxic 1. When Indoctrination Attendant enters this battlefield, you may return another permanent you control to its owner's hand. If you do, create a 1/1 colorless Phyrexian Might. Oh. Huh. Okay. So this is a way to duplicate ETB effects only in limited, but this actually seems like a very solid limited card. Like very, very, very solid. I'd give it like a 3, especially for a common. That's some nice stuff. Allows you to bounce some of your ETBBs. Infested Flesh Cutter. Why don't they just call it an Infested Flenser, huh? 1 and a white for equipped creature. It gets mediocre stats whenever equipped creature attacks. Create a might. Oh, yo, this card owns. Well, it sucks. It has an equipped cost of 3. And it doesn't have Mirrodin. So, you know, if it had Mirrodin, this would be busted with Mirrodin. But the fact that this has that large of an equip cost is a little obnoxious, but I think here's the loop that makes this good. Let's say you have a creature equipped with the Flesh Cutter. You attack, that creature dies, but because it attacked, you now have a 1/1 colorless Might. You then equip this to the Might, attack with it, and then you have another Might. Equip that and attack with it, and then go, 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 go. So this is kind of like a guaranteed swing for 3 every turn. But this strikes me as the kind of card that you would need to view as like a really long-term payoff. And Limited has been getting a lot slower as of late, getting a lot slower. So I actually think this has a lot of legs and would probably be a strong early pickup in a draft, as long as you're not trying to play it early. Jawbone Duelist. Teeth. 1 and a white for a double strike 1/1 toxic. All right. I mean, some of these always exist. They're fine. They exist. They're probably going to continue to exist. He's like, haha, you've seen me last set. I have this set's keywords on it. So we're going to give him a 1 out of 5 for effort. Kemba Ka Enduring. Look at that beautiful golden armor. Oh my god, it makes me want to play Reinhardt. 1 and a white for a 2/2. Whenever Kemba Ka Enduring or another cat enters the battlefield under your control, attach up to 1 target equipment you control to that creature. Huh. Equip creatures get +1/+1. Create a 2/2 white cat creature token. Oh my god. Broken. Stupidly broken. It's a 2-mana 2/2 that can just make infinite cats. I mean, that's ridiculous. And also, equipment goes on the cat and then gets bigger. This is insanely good. I mean, this is like a 6 out of 5. This is like one of the best cards that I've seen yet, and I've seen 19 of them. So, you know, it's pretty good. It's kind of a lot of Kemba-ing. Showtime Tyler says this is going to be good. Yeah, this is... God, I just love this card. And I love the gold with this kind of cerulean blue. Oh, it's so pretty. And I like cats. You hear that? You get a 5 out of 5. This cat has been so sweet. She has just been sitting right here all day and purring. Just being next to Dad and purring. See if we can get the tiniest little meow out of her. You know, let's screw this card review. I'm gonna kiss this cat. Hey, Despy. Hey. Can you say hi? Despy. Come on. There you go. Oh my god. Oh my god. What a good girl. Oh, did everyone hear that? Okay. Hey. One more. Despy. Come on. Despy. Come on. What if I annoy you? Oh, you're going to chew on my keyboard. All right. Let's fucking stop that then. All right. A coerced cat meow if I ever heard one. I know. She's my little princess. My cat is so chill. Yeah, like all my cats. I have 2. They're just so sweet. Like, look, see, like you can... A lot of cats freak out when you like grab their tail and stuff, but these little buddies, they're just very calm all the time. Uh-oh, be careful, you're gonna roll off. All right, what are we doing? Yeah, 5 out of 5. This cat's great. Leonin Lightbringer, 2 and a white, Ward 2. Love Ward 2. Already think this is a great card. As long as Leonin Lightbringer is equipped, it gets +1/+1. Trying to force equipment on me, 0 out of 5. Don't even like it. A 3/2 with Ward 2 is okay. It's not even that great in Limited, though, because normally 3/2s are for an attacker's stat line. You can equip it, and then it can protect itself, making it a more difficult to remove big threat. But, yeah, I mean, I guess this is like a 2 out of 5 in Limited. I mean, you always wind up with some 3/2s for 3, and this can potentially pop off. I really like Ward. Mandible Justiciar. Not a Mandible Justicar, it's a Justiciar. 1 and a white for a 2/1 lifelinker. Whenever another artifact enters the battlefield under your control, Mandible Justicar gets +1/+1 till end of turn. Remember how I just made a point to call it Justiciar? Oh, I just call it Justicar, so there you go. This guy has teeth. We're going to give it a 2 out of 5 rating. Seems bad. Miran Bardish. 4 and a white. Isn't this pronounced Bardish? Like, emphasis on the bard? Or is it bardiche? Voilà, c'est un bardiche. Miran bardiche. For Mirrodin, equipped creature does some stuff. I actually think Mirrodin, for Mirrodin is the keyword that I'm never going to not make fun of. It's French word for polearm. No, I know that it's the French word, but I'm asking how it's pronounced in English. I don't know how that happens. I'm like, is this pronounced Bardish or Baldish? Or which would be Bardiche. It's pronounced Frenchly, yeah, Bardiche. Okay, and some people are saying Bardiche. All right. And then some people are like, it's originally French. And I'm like, all right, you know what? For Mirrodin is on it. We give it a 0 out of 5 in all categories. Nothing's for Mirrodin. I want Phyrexia to win. I root for the villains. Go Jeff Bezos. Go Elon. My heroes. Please figure out a way to charge me for that free shit. All right. For Mirrodin. Come on. Mondrak. Glory Dominus. 2 and a pair of whites for a 4/4. If one or more tokens would be created under your control, twice that many of those tokens are created instead. Oh. All right. 1 and a pair of Phyrexian whites. Sacrifice 2 other artifacts and or creatures. Put an indestructible counter on Mondrak Glory Dominus. Oh, fuck. This is good. An indestructible counter. Oh my god, that's really nice. It's really nice. So Phyrexian mana, this one over here, that's the sort of circle with the line cutting through it. This is 1 Phyrexian white, is how that is pronounced. 2 Phyrexian whites and 1. This was introduced as a very thematic Phyrexian-like mechanic where all the colors would have a way to pay life or cast it. Because Phyrexia is this plane where all organic matter and machine are constantly being restitched together and mutated and reformed in like the harshest possible environment ever. Oopsie doopsie. Let me change this. Yeah, Ghost. I think the correct thing to do is to leave it at this setting forever. Pretty sure it's this is the right setting forever. But yeah, like when they introduced Phyrexian mana, it turned out to be the most broken thing of all time. Because you'd have a spell that would be like 1 Phyrexian red. So it's free. So there's this kind of idea in Magic of, oh, you have 2 mana up? What can you cast for 2 mana? Oh, you have no mana up? I'm good. So if you have a card that's like 1 Phyrexian red, deal 1 damage to any target, you can be like, oh, Sean's tapped out. All right, well, oh, he just paid 2 life and shot my thing. Dang. So this has been considered really bad, but there's something really rich and flavorful about this kind of mechanic, and I think it's really clever that they're baking it into a post-cast ability, so that way you can see it. Because again, a lot of the issue with Phyrexian mana is it was hard to play around and hard to interact with. Because, all right, well, it's free, so what do I do? Well, if it's on the battlefield, it probably feels less bad. So this is a 10 out of 10. This is an amazing card. 10 out of 5. Norn's Wellspring. Man, I just want to note they have been so spectacular. Of like really super pearly, clean, ultra white, like really bright, saturated white hues. And then this really rich blood red. I mean, they've been so consistent about that. Like, this is more of your traditional white card art, where there is a sort of white and yellow and orange that is, present in there as a dominant color. But there's all sorts of other colors in there as well. Or even something like this, where you can see, like, the blues. And then the cape is white as sort of like a core accent. But, like, this of like the very Cenobite-esque juxtaposition of beauty and horror. Oh, it's so good. All right, what does Norn's Wellspring do? Whenever a creature you control dies, Scry 1 and put an oil counter on Norn's Wellspring. Move 2 oil counters from Norn's Wellspring, draw a card. That's really good. That's really good. Oh my goodness. I mean, how good is this? I mean, I think it's cool. I think I'm reacting primarily to the fact that it's cool. Amazing and limited, slow and limited, but amazing and limited. It's all right. Seems like it's all right. I'm going to give it a 2. 2 out of 5 is completely fine. Orthodoxy Enforcer. Oh my god. I bet that they're heading to find some heretics. 3 and a white for a 2/4 vigilance. It gets +2/+0 as long as you control 2 or more artifacts. There they are. There's the artifacts. These are Phyrexian Mites. This card bores me. I'm going to give it a -1 out of 5. Not enough teeth. Needs more teeth. We require more Vespine teeth. Ossification. Ossification does really sound like someone wrote a self-help book that's clearly a scam, but is trying to get America interested in ossification. Matt Ossif shares his 10-point plan to get you out of your lethargic state and into the path towards your dreams. Get ready for ossification. 1 and a white. Enchant basic land you control. When ossification enters the battlefield, exile target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls until ossification leaves the battlefield. This is nuts. Okay, so here's what's weird about this. This is a 5. This is a 5 out of 5. So typically, like, is this called a banish effect or a prison effect? I always flip-flop the two. But, or maybe they're the same. Orang effect. I thought that it was called a banish effect. I thought it was a banish effect, and a prison is when it can't do anything. Well, whatever. So, Banishing Light is a 3-mana card that says exile, like, you know, an enemy creature. And I think you can exile a few other things with Banishing Light. But it's generally about 3 mana for exile that, and then if you destroy me, it returns back to the battlefield. These are normally 3 mana. So Ossification, well, is 2 mana too strong for exile target creature or planeswalker and opponent controls? Yes, 2 mana is too strong for this. So this requires you to have a basic land. So this is only going to be really effective and constructed if you are like doing mono white, or if you're doing some sort of white splashing another color. Mainly, yeah, you just need to have a lot of basic lands. So you can't get too fancy with your extra, you know, weird duels, or with some sort of white non-basic that's doing something cool, you know, like a castle, well, not Castle Ardenvale, Castle Flipsy Dalsy, whatever it is. So this is just great. If you're mono white, you just want this, and it's not allowed to be in 3 color. Castle Lochbane is not the white one. It is Castle Ardenvale, isn't it? Pretty sure it's Castle Ardenvale. Whatever. This is just 5 out of 5 as fuck. This is great. This is spectacular. Obviously, it's still weak to enchantment removal, but those other white cards were also enchantments, so it's like not doing anything different. All right, I see one of my favorite mana costs, which is white, 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 white. Anything that is like color, 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 like Phyrexian Obliterator, black, 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 black. Oh yeah, Phyrexian Vindicator, quad white for a 5/5 flyer. If damage would be dealt to Phyrexian Vindicator, prevent that damage. What? Hold on. When damage is prevented this way, Phyrexian Vindicator deals that much damage to any target. Oh, fuck. That is really good. Wow. I mean, that is just... The fuck is this card doing here? Holy shit. And it's not legendary. You can get 2 of them and they can just like beat each other up. It's amazing. Wow. Be like the opening sequence in Terminator 2. Wow. Yeah, this is just out of control. Behold your inevitable defeat. Yeah, we're going to be saying that shit a lot when we get this one in draft. My goodness. All right, Phyrexian Vindicator. Wow, what a crazy card. That's good. I mean, I'm thinking combos where I like deal 20 damage to my own thing. I'm thinking about fight effects, fighting my own things. I mean, there's even this other card. It's one of the early ones that we saw that was like, choose one. Deals damage equal to the number of creatures you control to target creature or planeswalker. You could just like summon a bunch of stuff and blast your own thing and it goes in there. Baskingner says, are one color drafts very common? I don't do them very often. They're less frequent. Often people are two color as the main thing in a draft, but recent sets have also given one color decks a lot of legs as well. Low-key Ukrainian flag in the background. Hell yeah, Slava Ukraini, cheers. There it is. That's so good. That's so good. Planar Disruption, 1 and a white. Enchant artifact creature planeswalker, can't attack or block, and its activated abilities can't be activated. Now this is a prison effect, right? This is a prison effect. It also hits artifacts. That's pretty nice. I mean, this is a superb card in limited. In constructed, generally you just don't want a sorcery speed disabler in white that early. You know, it's okay. Pacifism effect, arrest, who knows? Yeah, rip pacifism. Pacifism, one of the most powerful cards that white mana has ever had access to, is now sent to the dumpster. Boo-hoo, ooh-oo. This is nice that it costs 2 instead of the usual 3, so I would give this like a 5 in limited. This is just spectacular. And it can hit artifacts and planeswalkers, so. Plated Onslaught. I would have named this Toothy Hole. 3 and a pair of whites, affinity for artifacts. It costs 1 less to cast for each artifact you control. Creatures you control get +2/+1 until end of turn. That's really good. That's really good. That's really good limited stuff. Yeah, it's really, really good limited stuff. In constructed, these types of cast it and blast a bunch of extra damage over the top. It's just not that good in constructed. Just not that good. But in limited, you often wind up with a big stalled ass board state, swing in. Hell, have a pair of Plated Onslaughts. Spend 4 mana, get +4/+2. Great limited card. I'd give it a 4. I like this. Porcelain Zealot. I think the word porcelain is such a cool sounding word. Porcelain Zealot. 3 and a white. At the beginning of combat on your turn, target creature you control gets +1/+1 until end of turn. If that creature has toxic, it gets even bigger. The toxic keyword is like, whatever. I mean, giving something +1/+1. Okay, here's the thing. A card like this, just as a generic limited statement, obviously sets tend to focus on certain archetypes more than the other. But a card like this that is a way to get in chip damage when the board state has stalled out, having one of these is really nice. This is like a free +2/+2 every turn. If you have some toxic guys, and because they're toxic, your opponent generally wants to try to block it, because if they don't block it, they're getting poison counters. Mamma mia. So yeah, I think Porcelain Zealot, I'd just be like, doesn't excite me, but I recognize that these are good. I think I'm obligated to give it a 2. I think that like I have to pay more in taxes if I don't rate this at least a 2. So I'm going to do the least amount possible to avoid that potential problem. Resistance Reunited. 1 and a white. Target creature is ++2 to end of turn. Creature you control gain indestructible till end of turn. Huh. Equipped. Equipment is kind of cool, but what's that new card game? Like, it's not Fist and Blood. What's the name of that? What's the name of that card? Flesh and Blood? Is it Flesh and Blood? Flesh and Blood, yeah. Yeah, that's a game where, like, equipment is like a core element of the game. Real Jeff Daniels says Fist and Butt is the name of the game. No, I'm talking about a different game. I'm talking about Flesh and Blood. But both of those do have a heavy emphasis on equipment. Um, like, Flesh and Blood is really focused on a bunch of equipment that you add on and stuff like that. But like, I want to summon creatures. I want to cast cool spells. I want my planeswalkers. No equipment has gotten me that excited in this game or in Flesh and Blood. Sinew Dancer. Ooh, what a great name. Single white for a 1/1. Tap target creature. Oh, tap target creature. Activate only if you're super poisoned. Interesting. Again, one of these is like a nice one to have in a limited white deck. Looks kind of neat. Yeah, this is a fine limited card. Skrelv. Defector Might. Oh my god. A white for a 1/1 toxic one? Skrelv, Defector Might can't block. All right. Tell me what else. Choose a color. Another target creature you control gains toxic 1 and hexproof from that color until end of turn. It can't be blocked by creatures of that color this turn. Weird. So this is like white evasion on... Wow. It's always the weakest among us that wind up being the defectors, huh? So it's kind of... I'm not rating this. You know what? Take a 0. There you go. 0 out of 5 defector might suck it. Get out of here. Like, what am I supposed to be? He's chewing on a finger of something that's clearly dead. So that gives someone hexproof from a color. I don't know. Skrelv's Hive. Oh my god. Skrelv defected and then began making babies. Wow. Maybe he was playing a little bit of that card game. 1 and a white. At the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 1 life and create a 1/1 colorless Phyrexian Might. Oh my god. Is it... As long as opponent has 3 or more poison counters, creatures you control with toxic have lifelink. This is my favorite card in the universe. 4 of these in there. 4 of these. 4 of these fucking cards in there. It's a 2-mana thing. Oh my god. Now, if any of you recall... Oh, what was the name of it? It's the one... Was it like Unleash the Horde? Endless Horde? Hordification? Is like the Dread Horde making enchantment? People are saying Bitter Blossom. No, it's not that one. It's the one... Amass the Horde. Amass... Dread Horde Invasion? Dread Horde Invasion. Yeah. With Amass being the keyword. That's right. Dread Horde Invasion. That card fucking kills you so fast. So, Skrelv's Hive, I look forward to running a bunch of these and dying. This card is so sick. I love enchantments that make things. This is, Outlaws Merriment, Skrelv's Hive, all sorts of 1/1 makers. Yeah, Skeletal Swarming, get them in there. Get them in there. Swooping Lookout. My wings have teeth. White for a 1/2 Flying Vigilance. Bow Ring. Yeah, this is bland, but oh, it is. Yeah, dude, fuck. Maybe because they're shoving equipment in my face that this is like better. This is actually kind of a lot. A 1/2 for 1 with Flying and Vigilance, huh? Now, Ulubai, you be careful now, Ulubai. Ulubai, you typed power creep. We got to be careful. We got to be careful with that word. Power creep? Power creep, Ulubai? Now, all you did was say power creep. So this is not directed at you. That's why I said careful, as opposed to you're fucking wrong, dude. Ulubai says it beats Stormcrow. Actually, I think Stormcrow just deserves to always be beaten. But okay, let me tell you something. There is a big difference between this card is stronger than another card and power creep. Okay? Just dwell on this for a moment. Yeah, Afghan says that little comment is going to cost this review 25 minutes. Yeah, we'll get to blue and we'll just blast through it in 10 minutes and move ahead. So, look. Yeah, no, Tuesday Twitch, I would open up MS Paint and draw it, but I can't because my cat is, right here, so I don't have access to it. So, here's the thing. Power creep is the following phenomenon. Let's imagine that I make a card game Not Magic, but I make a card game, so that way none of you get fucking hung up on this card that you're seeing on the screen. My God, you are prone to that. Let's imagine I make a card game where there's mana in it, and I have, and you know, units have damage and health. So there's a 1/1 for 1 mana. There's a 2/2 for 2 mana. There's a 3/3 for 3 mana. There's a 4/4 for 4 mana. This creates a curve of power, where roughly you have an NN for N mana. So let's say I release my next set, and what I do is I have a 4/4 for 3 mana. Now, this is not power creep. That is not what has happened. What I've done is I've printed a card that is better on average than the other cards. That's what that is. That's just a better card, okay? But let's say I printed this 4/4 for 3 mana and then went, oh, fuck. All anyone is doing is running this card and not my other cards that were the 1/1 for 1, the 2/2 for 2, the 3/3 for 3, the 4/4 for 4. All of those cards in the past don't get run anymore. And so I need to do more changes to make sure that things can be brought up to be on par with this 4/4 that costs 3 mana. So then what I'll do is I'll maybe in the next set have a 2/2 for 1 mana. And then I'll have a 2/2 for 2 mana with an amazing ability. And then I have that 4/4 for 3 mana. And that process, Jesus, I drooled. That process by which cards used to be about this powerful, and then zoop, now on average, the overall power per mana has gone up because of some early changes. That process is called power creep. So Zion says, but what about that questing beast? Yeah, questing. If you say questing beast is an example of power creep, that fundamentally does not mean anything. A card is not evidence of power creep because it's not about us. Power creep is not a statement about a card. It is a statement about the overall collection of cards. So if you wanted to tune that, you would say, wow, the cards in, what was the name of that set? Eldraine. The cards in Eldraine included this card, that card, this third one, included Questing Beast, included this, included this, included this. People would say, wow, this set is evidence of power creep because the average power of cards in this set is so much higher than the average power of cards in that set. And humorously enough, Questing Beast was solid, but it just wasn't out of control. Yeah, you had Embercleave, you had Oko, you had I don't remember what it was called. It was like Take a Stroll, where like it was a free spell at the start of the game. It was total bullshit. Great Henge, Brazen Borrower, Vagoose, yeah, Fire's Invention. Yeah, Once Upon a Time. Take a Stroll seems pretty good. Yeah, that set is an example I would describe of power creep. So, this card sucks. Vanish into Eternity, 2 and a white. This spell costs 3 more to cast if it targets a creature. Exile target non-land permanent. Whoa. Whoa, what a tech card. Holy shit. Is this? This is like a 4 in constructed. I mean, this is pretty good. Ugh. If your opponent has a bunch of planeswalkers, instant speed, exile, I mean, that's really good. I'm going to give this like a 4. This is really, really, really good. Particularly as a sideboard card. But I mean, it's such an exceptional sideboard card, I'm still going to rate it highly. I mean, you could even have like 1 or 2 of these in the main. Especially because Wizards has done a really good job of spreading enchantments and artifacts and planeswalkers and sagas and all sorts of other things that would give this a lot of targets. So the fact that it is 3 mana to exile planeswalkers and artifacts and enchantments, that's just good. The art is super sweet too. Yeah. In limited, I actually think this is less good in limited. I'd give this like a 2 or a 1 in limited, because this is most of the time going to be a 6 mana remove a creature. But this is fine. Veil of Assimilation. This is what it looks like whenever any of you subscribe to this channel. Oh my god, we're 1 and a white, whenever available simulation or another artifact enters the battlefield under your control. Target creature you control gets +1/+1 against vigilance until end of turn. Oh my god, an artifact that does a marginal impact slightly over time. Oh, I can't wait to use this as tinder in my fireplace. It gets a 0 and limited and constructed. Get out of here. White Sun's Twilight. Oh, it has X in the casting cost. It's my favorite. You gain X life. Create X 1/1 colorless Phyrexian Might artifact creature tokens with blah. If X is 5 or more, destroy all other creatures. Oh, this card is not that good, but this card is fucking awesome. Oh my god, this card is not that good. This card is not that fucking good, my friends. Wow. Wow. Martial Coup V2. I have no idea what Martial Coup is. The only Martial I know is Sutcliffe. So I think this card is amazing and limited because you can just overwhelm and sweep the board. I mean, it's super expensive, but I mean, this card's going to cause a lot of flensing, huh? This is quite a sweeper. This is quite a fucking sweeper. Now, for X to be 5, that's a 7-mana sweeper, which is just completely out of question for, like, you know, early board stabilization. Yeah, I'd give it a flensing out of 5. I'd give this in constructed probably a 2, because 2 for constructed is good. For limited, this is a clear. This has gone infinite. This is a really good one. Zealot's Conviction. My life for ire. It's a white flash enchant +1/+1. As long as opponent has 3 more poison counters, enchanted creature gets an additional +1/+0 and has first strike. Ooh. That's really good. That's pretty good. Kind Wolf says, thanks so much for doing these, day 9. I really appreciate them, and they're bringing me laughter on a day when I really need it. We got you, baby. We got you. You know, I love doing these because early on I try to do honest evaluations and, like, reference the metagame. But the more I realize that no one gives a shit. I don't give a shit. None of us give a shit. We just enjoy Magic. So let's look at cards and say stupid things for about 6 hours. Yeah, it's a lot more fun, right? It's a lot more fun. But seriously, put 4 of these in every one of your constructed decks. And when you win, you owe me $1,000 in gifted subs. Because I want this exchange to have a cut taken from us. All right, this is pretty insane for 1. Persistent +1/+1 that can grow and give first strike. Damn. Yeah, I really like this. This is a great little combat trick. The danger here is obviously that you don't get the first strike and it doesn't do much. But I mean, I think like 1 or 2 of these in a white weenie limited deck seems great. It's time for blue. Oh my god. This is what I look like when I say, I'm tired, I want to go to bed. And I get into bed, and because I have my contacts out, I hold that phone right fucking here and read garbage for 2 hours. This is me when I'm 1 hour and 58 minutes in, and I'm like, oh fuck, I have to get up in 5 hours. And then I just open up just one more page of my garbage social media. Until end of turn, target creature gets +1/+3 and gains flying and toxic 1. Dude. Oh my god. Who at Wizards of the Coast is like, no, 1-mana cards need to do more bullshit. Even more. Next set, it's going to be flying, hexproof, +1/+3 permanently. Toxic 1. It's going to bounce a creature that the enemy has, and it's going to exile target artifact or saga that's on the second chapter. It's going to have that extra fringe thing where you're like, someone cared only about balance and not about look and feel. All right, so Aspirant's Ascent, +1/+3, and flying, and toxic 1. Sure, we'll allow it. This card really seems like it's trying to do everything. I'm surprised it doesn't have Scry 1 on it, you know what I mean? So, if there's a toxic dude, an Aspirant's Ascent gives it also toxic 1. How does that work? Because, for instance, if a card has flying and you give it flying, nothing happens. If a creature has Toxic 1 and it gets Toxic 1, does it just have one Toxic 1 or does it become Toxic 2? Some people are saying they stack, some people are saying they don't stack. Toxic 1 plus Toxic 1 is additive. It's cumulative. It's geometric. All right. This is an interesting card. I don't know how to evaluate it, so I won't. Huh? You ever had that where you're just like, oh, I don't know how to answer this email, so you close your email? Have you done this? I mean, it seems like a great idea. All right, well, I'll handle that one in 3 weeks. Open up with, so sorry this took so long to get to. It's been a busy 3 weeks. Atmosphere Surgeon. A common future career in our increasingly warming world. 1 and a blue for a 2/1. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put an oil counter on Atmosphere Surgeon. I just think that this joke is really starting to get away from me as I read the text. Remove an oil counter from Atmosphere Surgeon. Target government has green subsidies until end of turn. Okay, remove an oil counter from Atmosphere Surgeon. Target creature gains flying until end of turn. Activate only as a sorcery. Okay. So this is like... Okay, so this is like an Is It card. This is like a blue-red style card. You're casting counters, you're casting burn, and then you're getting an oily Atmosphere Surgeon. He's just slurping some of the black stuff straight out of the air and drenching it on his body till he's like a really oily surgeon. And then instead of putting on gloves and washing his hands, he sits there granting his neighbors flying. All right. So this is like a good way to finish if you're in an aggro Is It limited card. Or limited Is It aggro deck. Blade of Shared Souls. This gold with the honeybee shit on it. You know, I gotta be honest. The hexagon, tessellated hexagons just exploded after Heroes of the Storm and Overwatch started to use it a lot. Like, I mean, I can't not see it. Because the tessellated hexagon communicates this kind of like techno futurism, this kind of like, you know, the grid, the tessellated square is like, it's just so basic. But when you start to go for the hexagons also look really good in 3D space. So you can like do really cool things with like hexagons on domes and this sort of shit. And because they chose yellow, this just looks like bees. Okay, this is the Blade of Shared Bees. Oh yeah, hexagons are the bestagons. No, hexagons are total trashagons. I like triangles, man. But yeah, no, like the hexagons in the last fucking 8 years in media, everyone's like, just and then in this cheesy sci-fi television series on the CW, they turned on a force field for this door so nothing could come in, and it showed hexagons. Right, it's fucking everywhere. But yeah, this is a Blade of Shared Bees, 2 and a blue. For Mirrodin! This card's a 0. Let's read what it does. Whenever Blade of Shared Souls becomes attached to a creature, for as long as Blade of Shared Bees remains attached to it, you may have that creature become a copy of another target creature you control. What? I'm sorry. What? This card is out of fucking control. Like, this is a fucking ridiculous card. I mean, it's still a 0, and if you run it, you'll probably lose and be like, no, next game it'll work for me. You're going to have a 2/2 that's sitting there just not being anything but a 2/2. Yeah, I'm going to give this like a 0 out of 5. Because it's just like there's no probability of ever doing anything good unless it's limited. So Blue Sun's Twilight. Oh my god. It's my posture right now. There I am. Hold on, let me... Oh my god, that's actually... You know what? Let me raise this desk. Let me... Posture check, everyone. Please make sure you're sitting up straight. I worry about your rhomboids. X, blue, blue. Gain control of target creature with mana value X or less. If X is 5 or more, create a token that's a copy of that creature. Oh. Blue Sun's Twilight. Do you have a token? I have 2 blue. Give me that token. That's my fucking token. Do I have 7 mana and I'm running this card? Give me back my money. Yeah, like this is an amazing 2-mana card. This is an amazing, amazing 2-mana card. This is great and constructed. Unbelievably good and constructed. Unbelievably good and limited. This is it. This is the good shit. And, first bribe of the day. Pack Monster gifts 5,000 bits. That's $50. Says, can you please re-rate hexagons? You got it, man. Nothing is so sweet as the source of sweetness itself. The Beehive's hexagon. Turning me hexa on. Oh my god. Let me tell you something about why hexagons are such a good shape. Triangles, basic as fuck. That's why the Sega Saturn advanced its processor and graphics rendering to make quads. That's right, because squares are better triangles, because 4 is better than 3. But you know what's better than 4? Well, if you said 5, that's correct, but keep going. Keep going. It's 6. It's this many. I literally need a second hand to communicate how many sides are going on with this one. It tessellates. And if you don't know what tessellate means, get a dictionary. It tessellates really, really well. You can see it tessellating like crazy. Now, if any of you ever did a tessellating art project, some absolute clown babies who were geometrically deficient minds started with a square, where you'd like cut some shit out of the square and then you'd like copy paste that along. Not sophisticated. Same people trying triangles. There's even that kid that did a pentagon, but that kid is literally a dummy. He needs to go back to remedial art class and understand what tessellate means. So when I did my tessellating art project, I went with a hexagon. And you know what my mom said when I brought it home and when I was 8, and also like last week when I was like giving her a Christmas present because we're low on money lately? I gave her this art project, right, the tessellated hexagons, and I was like, hey, look at what I did in art. And she was like, she gasped. She didn't even understand that you could both like translationally tessellate and rotationally tessellate. Oh, hexagons got you covered, man. It was so good. Sigurdini says, was it macaroni art? No, I drew this with a pencil. I can't afford macaroni right now. So the Blade of Shared Souls, the fact that it is representing the ability to embody the spirit of another person in yourself through the power of hexagons, it resonates. It resonates. It resonates. 5 out of 5. Thanks for the 5,000 bits. Once again, if any of you ever want to re-rate or want me to change my opinion on a dime, 5 gifted subs is the starting amount. 5,000 bits also works too. I'd give it a 6 out of 6 for that. Yeah, for sure. This card's great. Bring the Ending. Yes, these are Game of Thrones fans in Season 5. Little did they know. 1 in a blue, counter target spell unless its controller pays 2. This is a 10. This is a fucking 10 out of 10. I don't believe it. I don't fucking believe it. Corrupted, counter that spell instead if its controller has 3 more poison counters. What the fuck? Holy shit. Oh my god. Counter target spell unless its controller pays 2. Fuck. This is a 7 out of 5. What the fuck? Holy shit, that's fucking really good. Typically, it is a 3-mana counter spell with upside. So it would be like counter target spell, scry 2. Counter target spell, deal 2 damage to the that spell's controller. This is a 2-mana counter spell, and the fact that it's pay 2, this is huge. This is essentially, in early game, counter target spell, period. This is good shit. EK Hawkman gifts 5 and says, oh my god, you're so sweet. Says, low on money, a large influx for gifts. Ought to put a stop to that. First of all, EK Hawkman, that's very sweet of you. I'm actually doing fine financially. I just liked the idea that I would give my mom a fucking tessellated hexagon over Christmas. Because when I was a kid and I didn't have any money, that's what I would do. I'd like, well, time to draw mommy a photo because I'm 11 and broke. It's but EK Hawkman, you are, through your gifted subs, providing me the stable income that I need to continue to buy my meat. So thank you, EK Hawkman. It says, get your mom a better gift then. Great, great. I'll send her the words EK Hawkman, but tessellated in a hexagon. Pretty amazing, right? This is incredible. This is an incredible card. This is an incredible card. Chrome Prowler. It's you at 2 a.m. 2 and a blue for a 3/2 with flash. When Chrome Prowler enters battlefield, tap target creature an opponent controls. Great is it card. Great, 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 great card. Wait. What? Is this the wrong it's? No, it isn't. This is fine. If it's controller. Oh, this fucking one. Oh my god. It's the wrong it's. This apostrophe is going to make heads roll. Oh my god. I really hope that they release an open Creative Commons license for me to be able to disregard this. Because if they don't, my god, I'm going to go buy someone else's apostrophe somewhere else. All right, Chrome Prowler. This is a great Is It card. If you are blue-red aggro and you're looking for some finishing damage, you cast Chrome Prowler end of turn, tap a thing, swing in, bite marks. Seems solid and limited. Distorted Curiosity. 2 and a blue. The spell costs 2 less gas. Opponent has 3 more poison counters. Draw 2 cards. Divination with upside. Poisonous Divination. Poisonation. All right. Zayla, of course, says WotC should provide errata stickers. That would be so good. Just like, all right, before the tournament begins, Pro Tour attendees, we have these It's stickers. Please feel free to bring in It's and put it on top of It's to make sure that it's the right It's. Do you understand? Yeah, 1 mana, draw 2 cards. Yeah, seems. I actually this isn't that good. I really don't think this is that good. I think this is like a 2. I think it's just like a very, like, all right, so I have Distorted Curiosity. It's fine. I'm a pervert. It's not a big deal. Although this globe with the lights reminds me of Riven, which is one of the greatest games of all time. Encroaching Mycosynth. Unrelated. If you haven't seen The Girl with All the Gifts, you might want to watch it. This reminds me of a scene in that movie. No spoilers, but you might want to see it. Illustro says, 8 months ago I had a baby. This has meant that I have no time to view anything and need to cancel recurring things I'm not using. Also, please re-rate the Bring the Ending as 0 out of 5. Thanks for the 5 gifted subs, Illustro. Before I go on about The Girl with All the Gifts, we're coming back here to Distorted. Which one do you want me to re-rate? Bring the Ending? Oh yeah, dude. Bring the Ending. Let me tell you something. This card is a 0 out of 5. I haven't read the text, but this card sucks because I have tried this for years with Netflix and it just doesn't work. You only ever get 2 seasons. And I've been trying really hard, and in response it said, we're canceling everything cool about our service. Actually, that was posted in error, and I just can't keep track of it. I want to say this more. I want to say, what's going to happen with Archive 81, huh? Give me more of that shit. What dimension are they in? I don't know. It's one of my favorite runs of a show that's only 1 season. Fuck. So when I see Bring the Ending, these are a bunch of people that either got to the very end of Game of Thrones and they're like, oh, but I found some cool series on Netflix. Wow, what's happening to season 3? Ah! Like, right? Oh, yeah, and you're right. That's a good point, Thumbster. This is a Silex, and those are fucking garbage. But broadly speaking, 2 mana for counter target spell unless its controller has land. Are we serious, Alestro? Is this really the conceit I want to bank on with Bring the Ending? What are we fucking doing here? Why would I even run 1 copy of this card? Because my opponent might not have land. Get out of here. Be gone. Why Sangren SC said, did you know Archive 81 had a podcast and it has 3 seasons? Okay, this is like when there's no food in my house and I'm like, fuck, Britt, I thought we still had food. "Oh man, I guess I'll have to be hungry tonight." And she says, "Don't worry, I have several photographs of tamales." Like, what am I supposed to do then? I'm supposed to open up season 2 and 3 of a podcast and listen to it? Do you realize I don't have a commute? I work 8 seconds from where I sleep. What am I gonna like? Oh, let's put in my headphones. Jack, what do you think is going? All right, I'm at work. All right, let's pause that where we were at. No, not a chance. And then what? You expect me to not watch TV when I'm done with my broadcast? You expect me to just sit down and stare at a wall, and if my wife comes to me, I go, hold on, I'm in season 2, and just keep staring at the wall, like one of these, like one of these people here, just like that. So this guy literally just got to the twist in the middle of season 2. Like, I don't know, man. Why, Sangrick? I really don't know why I'm being so malicious specifically towards you that has just clearly presented me something that's really awesome and valuable, but I'm going to treat it like you've been really offensive to me right now, okay? Because that's the character that I get in when I do these broadcasts. But as I've been doing it, I feel like, why Steinrich says, okay, look, it's one of my favorite podcasts of all time, but I deserved it. Oh, thank God that you understand that it's a joke. But also, fuck you, okay? Now that I'm back in character for even suggesting that, why Steinrich, I need you to stop listening to podcasts and go to Netflix and just say, where's season 3? Don't even specify what the show is, because they'll know what you're talking about. All right, anyways, encroaching mycosynth, I should probably read this. 3 and a blue. Non-land permanents you control are artifacts in addition to their other types. The same is true for permanent spells you control and non-land permanent cards you own that aren't on the battlefield. Oh my God. Oh my God. Now, you're going to just maybe be a little eye-rolly here about this. This is probably one of the most powerful cards printed in this set. This is one of the most powerful cards printed in this set. Like, artifacts are I feel like the source of the most broken garbage in Magic over all time. Artifacts are like literally at the very core. Like, if you have like bullshit mountain and you had to find the entrance by digging through the shit and you open the door and you went down the spiral staircase of more bullshit deep into the underground cavernous towering palace that is the underground sub bullshit mega bullshit Lord Throne Room basement, okay? And you went in there, it would just be an artifact that when you read it you go, but like, does that even do anything? Those are the cards that fucking break Magic, okay? Those are the cards where, like, a 0 mana artifact that says sacrifice. Look at the top card of your opponent's deck. Everyone's like, oh yeah, well this infinite combo just mills the opponent out, and you're like, but you just play it, and then it just lets you look. Is that? And they're just like, oh yeah, but of course. But then you just get infinite damage so quickly. Like, there's too many steps to skip. So the fact that everything is an artifact now, like everything is bullshit. All of it's bullshit. Maybe I have some sort of duplication spell that lets my opponent have an encroaching mycosynth. Like, there you go. I really think that this is so stupidly overpowered. I mean, the way that artifacts function in like Legacy and Vintage, it would be as though cards that were left-handed were bizarrely the most powerful and frightening cards in all of Magic. And you're like, but is left-handed a mechanic? And it's, Corey, what's wrong with you? This is just busted. If you run this in limited, then that's so funny. This is all these are your gems. Being like, no, please come back to us. Escaped Experiment 1 and a blue for a 2/1. When it attacks, target creature an opponent controls gets tiny, where X is the number of artifacts you control. Well, this is an interesting, weird one. Using the -X/-O mechanic. Huh. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, so Polyvius says, what's an example of this, though? Wouldn't you just play an artifact instead of turning a non-artifact into an artifact? Let me give I'm going to give a bit of a contrived example, rather than getting into any specifics. But, like, perhaps you have an artifact that says, whenever an artifact enters the battlefield and has an ETB effect, copy it. Well, the encroaching mycosynth turns all your creatures into artifacts, so then you are duplicating all these traditionally non-artifact things that you can now with this artifact quality. Or affinity, which is this one up here. Where's affinity? All right, I don't know where it is. Affinity is this costs 1 less for each artifact you control. If you have a swarm of creatures and then they all become artifacts, and you have a lot of things that have affinity for artifacts, then all of a sudden you can leverage the token generating power of white, but it's making artifacts. Isn't that amazing? So there's a lot of potential, because basically artifacts lightly touch on almost all the mechanics in the game. And because they lightly touch on all this stuff, the power of them is often only abated by the fact that there shouldn't be that much overlap between artifacts and other things. There's a lot of non-artifacts and things like that. And this just deletes all that those bullshit blockers. So there's a lot of... And I want to be clear. The important takeaway is that artifacts never look that dramatic. But with just a little bit of extra tweak, a little extra power, they go completely out of control in ways that no one expects. So this just being like, all right, there you go. This affects all of them. It's just kind of like the potential for bullshit is huge. So I'm gonna give this the most powerful card in the set, and there it is. This card's boring. Experimental Augury. 1 and a blue. Look at the top 3 cards. Put one of them in your hand and the rest on the bottom. Oh, and proliferate. Ooh. Proliferate means pick counters, add another one. So if your opponent has 1 poison counter and you cast proliferate, you can add 1 for a total of 2. Cards, it's fine. It's bland. Eye of Malcator. Malcator. Malcator sounds like when someone was trying to make their new ID in World of Warcraft and discovered that, no, it really is only alphanumeric characters. You can't put any sort of weird tildes or parentheses or pipe symbols. You literally just need to come up with a name. And they tried trying to find a unique ID for many days until they landed on Malcator. It is the Eye of Malcator. 2 and a blue. When Eye of Malcator enters the battlefield, scry 2. Whenever another artifact enters the battlefield under your control, Eye of Malcator becomes a 4/4 Phyrexian Eye artifact creature until end of turn. I'm going to give this an I out of 5. I think that the best part about this card is the word Malcator. Malcator! Malcator is so funny. And if this is... Malcator is a generous pronunciation. This could be Malcator. Oh yeah, hey, I'm I, Malcator. Good to meet you. No, this is Malcator. This card seems fine. It's not that exciting. It's whatever. It's a limited card. Font of Progress. Oh, you mean Helvetica? Blue, Font of Progress, enters battlefield with 2 oil counters on it. Target player mills X cards where X is the number of oil counters on Font of Progress. In Throne of Eldraine, in Limited, you could get a whole bunch of 1 mana, mill your opponent cards. And then you could fill your deck with it and mill them really easily. This card is gonna really piss some people off. I mean, good God. Yeah, I mean, this is a build around. This is probably a 4 in Limited. This is probably a fucking 4. Toasty says, please re-rate this as if the font is Comic Sans, not Helvetica. Okay, so for any of you that don't know, Helvetica is a typeface. You know what, Helvetica, where is this? So, let's see here. Let me just make sure I'm not going to dox myself. All right, so Helvetica is... it is a typeface that is widely used in cities, and it is emphasizing neutrality. It is trying to have, there's very few, little frilly serifs and things like that. A lot of signs are just these are some logos, but a lot of signs in cities will have Helvetica lettering and numbering. It's considered very readable. It's very non-expressive. It's very solid. It's very straightforward. Often, a lot of companies, when they are around for a really long time, they will just return to Helvetica with some amount of thickness to it. As opposed to doing something really stylized. They'll just put something like that. Like I know American Airlines uses Helvetica and stuff like that. There's some variations on it, but this is considered like probably the most famous neutral font. When you're wandering around your city, look for this Helvetica font. Now let's take a look. Let's take a look at Comic Sans. Why do you hate me? Oh my god. So Comic Sans is a typeface that this is great. Look, inspired by graphic novels and designed for children's UI by Vincent Conner, the face has several readability issues. Contrary to myth, research studies generally find it difficult to read. Yeah, so Comic Sans was designed with a sense of playfulness, with a sense of like trying to be friendly, trying to communicate like, ooh, we're being kind of cheery. And, Helvetica can have this real sort of austerity to it. Let me actually see if I can open this up in two tabs. Great. Helvetica can have this sort of austerity to it where it can feel very like cold. This can be like really friendly, right? It kind of has this roundedness. The letters don't quite line up across like, even if you literally see the letters in the typeface lined out, some of them kind of go a little lower than others. It's meant to be fun, right? It feels a little bit more like someone just wrote it down, a little bit more personal, a little more inviting. And it is a typeface that has become famous for how much people fucking hate it because it's hard to read. It looks non-professional. It has It just like looks sloppy and somehow has been included as like a default font in all sorts of things. Now, if you said to me, how on earth could it possibly be that Comic Sans is a font of progress? And if any of you want to know the difference between a font and a typeface, the correct answer is you say font when you're talking to a normal person, you use typeface if you're full of yourself. That's the difference between. And I've used typeface several times. I know what I am. So, font of progress. Why is Comic Sans the font of progress? Because nothing unites humanity as much as mutually hating on some fucking bullshit together. Comic Sans, the font of progress. Comic Sans. Hey, you want to see something that sucks? Yeah, show me. Something with Comic Sans. Yeah, that sucks. We high five, and now we're willing to work together and overcome obstacles as a team. Few things drive us together as much as trying to overcome villainy. No Helvetica. What do I need? More functionality? Ugh, please. Comic Sans up my life. This card gets a 5 out of 5. Gitaxian Anatomus. 3 and a blue for a 2/5. Gitaxian Anatomus on his battlefield. You may tap it if you do proliferate. Huh. Wow. Wow. This is... wow. I mean, this is kind of fun. This art is really sweet, too. So I can make it weaker and improve. This is just neat. This is a neat out of 5. I have to save time, so we'll just move ahead on this. But this mechanic of like, you can make me worse and maybe get something else better. It's just like, you can take out a loan with no interest as long as you use your house as collateral. Whoa. You don't even own it anymore. You're just a custodian who has custody of your house, but you have that loan, don't you? Oh, that's so good. Oh, is it not Gitaxian Animist? Oh, it's Gitaxian Anatomist. Like an anatomy made out of mist. Whatever. Gitaxian Reptar, which is how it is written. Gitaxian Reptar, 2 and a blue for a 1/4 flyer. And his battlefield with 3 oil counters on it. It's just so oily. I really am curious what kind of oil this is. Is this like Gitaxian Raptor? Enters the battlefield with 3 olive oil counters on it? Perhaps it's grapeseed oil. Perhaps it's an essential oil. Remove an essential oil counter from Gitaxian Raptor. Gitaxian Raptor gets +1, -1 until end of turn. Ooh, this Phyrexian bird's going to hurt you once. Going to hurt you just once. Coconut oil. That's good. My dog would like the Gitaxian Reptar for sure. I love that they show the skeleton, but also give it a little puffy chest. I love this part of the bird. This part of the bird that goes from the neck all the way to the tummy. Because I grew up with birds. I grew up with 2 parakeets. And then like the tummy, if you just rub the little tummy, oh, birds like that. Birds like that shit. And then they like put their little claws on your finger and step up. Tummy time for the Gitaxian Reptar. It's tummy time. I'm covered in oil. Glistener Seer. What? So is it like a cell phone light? A blue for a 0/3, Glistener Seer enters the battlefield with 3 olive oil counters on it. Remove an olive oil counter from Glistener Seer. Dry out your chicken. Scry 1. All right, this is whatever. Glistener Seer. So Glistener Seer, it seems like one of these limited cards that you just run one of to kind of fill things out. Ichor Synthesizer. I know it's pronounced Ichor, but I like Ichor. Ichor is an eyesore for this Ichor Synthesizer. 1 and a blue for a 1/3. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, lather up that Ichor Synthesizer. Just give it another tablespoon right there on the top. As long as Ichor Synthesizer has 4 or more olive oil counters on it, it's +2/+0 and can be blocked. Oh shit, this is a dream card and is it aggro? Are you kidding me? Literally just tablespooning on, just glugging it. Oh my god, this reminds me of that horrifying Junji Ito short story, Greased. Or in some translations, it's called Glyceride. Ugh. Ichor Moon Gauntlet, 2 and a blue. Planeswalkers you control have this. Hold on, it's in Comic Sans, or perhaps they're using Wingdings. Planeswalkers you control have 0 proliferate. And -12, take an extra turn after this one. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, choose a counter on target permanent. Put an additional counter of that kind on that permanent. How much is it? It's 3. Oh my god, it's a 5. It's a 5 out of 10. No, it isn't. It's a 10 out of 5 even. Holy shit. What the fuck? So imagine I have 3 planeswalkers out, and imagine that one of them has a +1, a -3, and a -10. So that one that has just a +1, it's going to take a lot of turns to build up enough loyalty for it to -10. But if one planeswalker can proliferate, it gets +1 loyalty right then. The second planeswalker can proliferate, gets +1 on it. Jesus, and then I'm casting non-creature spells and putting more counters on there. This is fucking 10. This is 10. This is 10 territory. Oh my god, I'd give it 10 tickles. Jesus, holy shit, that card's insane. Jace the Perfected Mind. Wait, is Jace compleated? Oh, he is? Of course. Just compleate everyone, I don't really care. 2 blue and a Phyrexian blue. If it's compleated, it enters smaller. Until your next turn, up to 1 target creature is small. Target player mills 3 cards. Then, if a graveyard has 20 or more cards in it, you draw 3 cards. Otherwise, you draw a card. What? Target player mills 3 times X cards. So I can just cast this for 4 and just make you mill 15? This card is so stupid. Jace the Perfected Mind is currently standing in front of a projector that's playing an episode of Stranger Things. And he's like, but seriously, look at this magic trick that I learned. I've been practicing it all day at Panera. Like, I mean, come on, Jace. Just let me finish the season, all right? It's been building up for years. I mean, what is this? What is this card? Nothing about it. Like, being compleated, it reminds me of how in Battlestar Galactica, well, actually, you know what? What if every episode was really about who's a Cylon? What if that's what it was about? There comes a point where I don't want everyone to be complicated, so I'm going to give this a 0 out of 5. Compilation. Malcator's Watcher! 1 and a blue for a 1/1. Flying Vigilance. When Malcator's Watcher dies, draw a card. Malcator's Watcher's pretty gas. I mean, this card fucking sucks, but, you know, look at him. He's so cool. He really doesn't need this. Evolution hasn't gotten rid of that one yet. Or maybe that's his stabilizer tail. Like, this Malcator's Watcher just doesn't make any sense. This guy's pretty funny. 0 out of 5 in all formats. Meld Web Curator. 3 and a blue for a 3/4 when Meld Web Curator enters the battlefield. Put up to 1 target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard on top of your library. Oh, I'm going to love this one in Limited. I love these kinds of stupid cards in Limited where you only have 2 good spells, so you draft some Meld Web Curator so you can cast it like 4 times. It's fucking awesome, man. And this art is just like, and what if in BioShock the Big Daddies wore clothes? I mean, this is definitely strongly BioShock influence art. This is some good shit. Oh, yeah. This card goes hard. Yeah, it's good stuff. I like it. Meld Web Strider. I'm an artifact vehicle. This design, these kinds of legs, are reminiscent to the tanks in the Panzer Dragoon series. Love it. 4 and a blue for a 5/5 Vigilance vehicle. Meld Web Strider in his battlefield with an oil counter. It's just covered in baby oil. Remove some baby oil from Meld Web Strider. It becomes an artifact creature. Till end of turn. Crew 3. So, do vehicles have summoning sickness, right? Isn't that right? I can never track who does or doesn't have summoning sickness. Yes. So, you know, it's a 5/5 for 5 that can swing once. You know, it's something. Get more oil on there. I actually think this card's going to be all right because it comes out with oil, you proliferate, stays all oily, you can swing in. It's all right. I really think that artifacts becoming creatures are, broadly speaking, pretty terrible. So I'm not really feeling this that much. It's all right. I mean, Crew 3 is really nice, but this, you know, it's whatever. Oh my god, that's beautiful. Mercurial Spelldancer. 1 and a blue for a 2/1. Mercurial Spelldancer can't be blocked. Nice. When you cast a non-creature spell, just put baby oil on Mercurial Spelldancer. Whenever Mercurial Spelldancer deals combat damage to a player, you may remove 2, dry it off, maybe give it a hand towel. If you do, when you cast your next instant or sorcery spell this turn, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. Oh, guys. This is the potential cause for bullshit. It gets a 5. Can you imagine a Mercurial Spelldancer casting spells? It's just getting so oily. You bonk someone, you towel off, and you duplicate a spell? Like, fuck yeah. Mercurial Spelldancer. Is this all the packets of oil that are on her? Oh, yeah. Mesmerizing Dose. 1 blue. Enchant creature. When Mesmerizing Dose on his battlefield, tap it, then proliferate. It doesn't untap. Okay, one of these. I'm familiar with this, although this art is just... This is awesome. This is good. Mind Splice Apparatus. 3 and a blue. Flash. At the beginning of your upkeep, put an oil counter on Mind Splice Apparatus. It automatically generates baby oil. Maybe it just is the baby, and we just give it a little squeeze, the oil comes out. Instant sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each oil counter on Mind Splice Apparatus. Oh! Yeah, I mean, yeah. Yeah, this is jank glue. I actually don't think that's oil. I think it's adhesive. This is really going to tie a lot of my bullshit ideas together. Oh my god. Can you imagine the amount of baby oil that you and I are going to have once we start running Mind Splice apparatuses? It doesn't have legendary. I'm going to have several baby oil generators. Oh my god. What the fuck? I mean, I think the fact that this has flash is just... I mean, it's goofy busted, because if I have an all spell control pop off copy garbage kind of deck, I need a lot of land to do it. So I want to be spending my early turns countering and casting removal spells, things like this. Then Mind Splice Apparatus. Hey, you didn't do anything? All right, end of turn. Plop this down. I'm just going to hang out and wait. My mana's always up. I mean, this is fucking so good. Keen Cole says, are most of your grades for constructed? It's not clear what I really mean, Keen Cole. This shouldn't even be called a card review. This should just be called Sean is going to talk about the cards for a little bit. So I'd probably give this my sincere evaluations would be that in limited, this is generally is a 1 or a 2, because you're going to want 16, 17 creatures. If you go for like a 12 creature deck, Mind Splice Apparatus can be all right. It can be all right. I'd probably give it at best a 3. And in constructed, I'd give it a 5. Yeah. Yeah. I'm never wrong. I'm never wrong. Hold on. You know what, King Cole? This is for you. Dispy. Oh, okay. Okay. Dispy. Hey. Come on, meow. Dispy. No, don't hit those buttons. See, come on. Dispy. Fucking. Come on. Nope, don't. Dispy. Despy. Despy, hey. Well, let me put some energy into the cat. She likes chin scritchies. Okay, hold on. Man, that microphone looks really big. Okay, come on. Hey, Despy. Can you meow for me? Despers. Don't flip upside down. Oh, shit, she's upside down. Fuck. All right, well, looks like someone doesn't know how to make content. I can't believe you. I love you, though. You're my favorite in the whole world. Look how happy she is. Oh, yeah. This card's great. Minor Misstep. A blue. Counter target spell with mana value 1 or less. Oh, shit. Holy fuck. This is a 7 out of 10. No, out of 5. This is just... Think of a big number. It's that out of 5. Holy shit. This is Graham's number out of 5. This is like... This is insane. This is great. It is a fringe unbelievable card. The older the format that you're playing in, the more frequently that people will be using lots of 1-mana spells, 1-mana creatures, this sort of thing. This is good. This is good stuff. In standard constructed and limited, probably pretty terrible. Leland Grant is only good at turn 1, though. This is actually amazing, pretty deep into a lot of, older format matches, because often I will do something like I have 3 mana and I play a 2-mana ultra powerful creature with a 1-mana protection spell. So, I mean, this can be really, really, really sick. And it's often used on turns like 3, 4, 5, 6 to disrupt someone that was leaving 1 mana open. You know, like if there's something like Fatal Push, which is like a really common black removal spell. Great, you can just like pick a thing off. Or pick the Fatal Push off. Yeah, it's great. Okay. Yeah, I think this is great. In standard and limited, it sucks. Prologue to Phyresis. 1 and a blue. Each opponent gets poison, counter, draw a card. Okay, this is... Dude. I genuinely think that this is going to be the cause of some bullshit control lists. You just play this, you redraw, you give him poison counter, you start to copy it, you duplicate these things. And dude, getting to 10 is pretty easy. Counting to 10, can be hard, but, you can get to count to 10 pretty easily in this one. This, I think, is solid constructed material. It's probably going to be a nice sort of pack filler in. Quicksilver Fisher. 3 and a pair of blues. 4/3. When Quicksilver Fisher enters the battlefield, draw a card, then discard a card. Total pack filling Drek. Don't even care. Doesn't matter to me. Get out of here. Bye-bye. Reject imperfection. I I so love how, because we're talking Phyrexian, the idea of perfection is very different than what we consider perfection. But I love the way that in like design and media, which is like it was absolutely perfect, right? It's just like there's no wrinkles. All the colors are really cleanly coordinated. There's really clean lines. Everything looks really nice. And then I see this. Counter target spell. If that spell's mana value is 3 or less, proliferate. Yep, 3 mana with upside always winds up being good somewhere. Always winds up being good. Obviously, great synergy with Prologue to Phyresis. Give someone a poison counter, start proliferating the poison counters, get to counter stuff. It's great. This is good stuff. I'm not a big fan of counters in limited, just period. Just not. I'm sure that this is going to be a common 23rd card. Serum Snare. 1 in a blue, return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. If that permanent had mana value 3 or less, proliferate. I am sensing some good Izziting stuff. This is a limited card. Limited Izzet. Seems solid, like maybe 2, 3. Tamiyo's Immobilizer. Tamiyo's Tentacles. 3 in a blue. Tamiyo's Tentacles enter the battlefield with 4 baby oil counters on them. Remove a baby oil counter from Tamiyo's Tentacles. Tap target artifact or creature. Ooh. I mean, it's literally so clearly good Izzet stuff. It's clearly good Izzet stuff. Yeah. Seems like, again, a nice 3 or 4 in Izzet. Because you play this, and then you pass, then at the end of their turn, you tap it, tap an enemy thing, then it's your turn, tap it, tap a second enemy thing, and you've removed 2 blockers. And then you get to do that one more time. I mean, it seems great. Tamiyo's Logbook. Today I saw another amazing log. As my favorite childhood television show taught me, everyone loves a log. Does everyone know that reference? Does anyone know that reference? Does anyone know what I'm talking about? Yeah, it's big, it's heavy, it's log. It's log, it's log. It's big, it's heavy, it's wood. It's log, it's log. It's better than bad, it's good. I have not watched that shit in 30 years, and still my brain is like, you know exactly the animation that goes along with the song too. For any of you who are perhaps Zoomers, or who are perhaps didn't have Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network or whatever that was on, Ren and Stimpy was a surrealist, grotesque horror show for children somehow. It should not have been allowed on the air. It shouldn't have been allowed on the air. In the 90s, in the early 90s, for some reason, grotesque and horror was a really common theme in everything. So like the Goosebumps books or Fear Street by R.L. Stine, the presentation of Batman the Animated Series, where instead of painting on white, they painted on black to give it a really dark look and had blood red sky. You had Ren and Stimpy and Real Monsters, and Rocko's Modern Life that had this like extreme surreality and grotesqueness to them. Are You Afraid of the Dark? Hell yeah, Lana Who. Courage the Cowardly Dog. Oh my God. Oh my God. Just insanely weird things. Oh yeah, Powerpuff Girls and Dexter's Lab. I mean, those weren't actually like proper horror, but occasionally it went in there and you were just like, oh my God. And then I think it might have been Cartoon Network that had Saturday Anime, where they would show like famous anime movies on Saturday mornings. And you would watch that shit and you would be like, oh my God. Like, I mean, I was like 7 and like seeing fucking Akira and shit. It was just like, holy fuck, I thought cartoons were for children. And like all the cartoons that were for children officially were also just not for children. It was like Ren and Stimpy and shit. Oh my God. But yeah, I think Tamiyo's Logbook is maybe not that great a card. Draw a card, one less for each other artifact you control. All right, affinity for artifacts. Seems pretty good. Seems pretty good. Seems pretty good. All right. Techathal, Inquiry Dominus. It's me, Techathal. Techathal, and what was the other guy's name? What was that goofy ass name? Malcator and Techathal. Malcator, how are you doing? Techathal, I'm doing fantastic. How have you been, Techathal? I've been well. Techathal, Inquiry Dominus, 2 and a pair of blues, Tentacle Boys flying. If you would proliferate twice instead. Yeah. Kind of like when I go to buy a candy bar, there's a 2-pack. So if I want to buy 1 candy bar, I buy 2 instead. 1 and a pair of Phyrexian blues for move 3 counters from among other artifacts, creatures, and planeswalkers you control. Put an indestructible counter on Techathal, Inquiry Dominus. Hi, I'm an Inquiry Dominus. I'm Techathal. I'm made of tentacles even. Look at him trying to stand on his tentacles. He looks so silly, man. It's like one of those CrossFitters that wanders around on their hands too much. It's as natural to me as walking. Like, no, you fucking look goofy and I don't care about CrossFit. All right, Techathal. I think this is probably going to be a spectacular card because it can enter the battlefield and then instantly become indestructible. So I like the fact that there's this intermediary thing. Did you just have Techathal sound like Pink Panther? Isn't it Snagglepuss that I'm doing, or is it not? Or is that Pink Panther? Is that like I'm Techathal, Dominus even? I'm pretty sure that's Snagglepuss or Snaggletooth or whatever his name is. Yeah, I thought it was Snagglepuss. I'm Techathal, a blue flyer even. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, it's Snagglepuss. I know what I'm doing. I kind of know what I'm doing over here. This card seems fine. It's a Phyrexian Harar. He's got, he's got some plants. He's got 2 friends. It's nice. The proliferate twice instead. This is the thing that really makes me a little. Yeah, no, it's just good. Hummingbird. 1 and a blue for a 1/1 flyer. When it deals combat damage to a player, proliferate. Oh, this one is actually fucked up good. This is gross. This is like a 4 out of 5 limited. Dude, this pecker is going to literally end games. I peck, therefore I poison. Ooh. Celtic Kernows has been watching Day 9 since SC2 in 2011 on the YouTube channel, but recently decided to watch the streams as well. Thank you for continuing to make content, as your laid back and occasionally goofy attitude really makes my day. Fucking goofiness. Happy to provide you some of that in real time aloofa goof. Yeah, Thrumming Bird, this art is sick. This card is sick. Not in constructed. I can't imagine this being that good in constructed. It seems too expensive for mono blue tempo. Transplant Theorists. Wow, that's great art. 3 in a blue whenever Transplant Theorist or another artifact enters the battlefield. You may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. Put target card... whatever. Put target card from your graveyard on the bottom of your library. This effect is actually very valuable in limited. Like being able to not deck yourself. So the fact that it's just 2, it's actually a pretty sick card. Yeah, seems fine. Seems actually pretty good. Seems pretty solid and limited. If I'm not mentioning constructed, that's because it's irredeemably terrible in there. Trawler Drake, 2 and a blue for a 0/0. Trawler Drake enters battlefield with an oil counter on it. Gets plus for each oil counter on it. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put an oil counter on Trawler Drake. Huh. Oh, shit. Entropy says, don't yawn now. No, I know. We have about, let's take a look. We're about almost a third of the way through. Yeah, this gets big really, really fast. And it works with Proliferate. This is just a strong finisher. This is a Protect the President card. You get this down, you keep it going, it runs away with the game. Ooh, this is kind of exciting. Entropy says, get you some additional coffee, young man. No, I'm not going to do it, Entropy. Are you kidding me? Oh my god. Entropy, here's the thing. Maybe 5 years ago, I'd be like, oh yeah, I've had half a pot of coffee. I'm tired. Let me drink the other half. For whatever reason, in the last 3 years, if I am tired and I drink coffee, I stay tired and have an anxiety attack. That's what happens to me. So, kind of a situation where I'm like, well, I got up early, I did my yoga, I bent my body and did my little forward fold, halfway lift, and chair pose. And I'm like, fuck, it's 8:15. It's way too hard, man. Just hydrate, I guess. Maybe we could just go to Korean barbecue again, Entropy. And I can rag on Overwatch League. Unctus Grand Metatect. Wow, this name would be really hard to say with no tongue. Unctus Grand Metatect is 1 and 2 blues for a 2/4 when other blue creatures you control have whenever this creature becomes tapped, draw a card, then discard a card. Other artifact creatures you control get +1/+1. For Phyrexian blue, until end of turn, target creature you control becomes a blue artifact. Dude, I'm not gonna evaluate this card. Unctus. This is my aunt, and this is my unctus. I do need some more water. Yeah, I don't feel like reading this. I don't feel like reading out of 5. Unctus's Retrofitter. 2 and a blue for a 2/3. Toxic 1. When Unctus's Retrofitter enters the battlefield, up to 1 target creature you control becomes an artifact creature with base power and toughness 4/4 for as long as Unctus's Retrofitter remains on the battlefield. This is a might sweller. Everything else is getting covered in oil. Unctus's Retrofitter pumps that oil into the might to make it a balloon-shaped boulder that Kool-Aid mans its way through the enemy's defense. King KJ52 gifted 5 subs and says, go back and read it, bait. Oh boy, I love being bribed. Thanks for the gifted 5 subs, King KJ52. And much like George Bush, you really are making sure that I'm a kid that picks up a book and reads. Other blue creatures you control have, whenever this creature becomes tapped, draw a card and then discard a card. That's really cool. Other artifact creatures you control get +1/+1. Really cool. I can pay a Phyrexian blue, and until end of turn, target creature you control becomes a blue artifact, in addition to its other colors and types activate only as a sorcery. Wow. This is a card. So if I'm understanding it, it's like everything's a looter, and my artifacts are a little bigger? King K just says, I love the sarcasm so much. The sarcasm is fun, but only if it sits next to my sincerity, because I'm like a really sincere person, which is why I find being over-the-top sarcastic funny. But if you don't know that I'm a sincere person, and I'm just like, well, fuck you for giving me money. I know there's someone who's logged in here and been like, oh, who's this Day9 guy? I've heard of him before. Let me see what his stream's about. And I'm like, I fucking hate people that support my content and make me read the cards during a day dedicated to being a card review. This man is just going through something, I can tell. I will close this and put on someone who is very well hinged. All right. All right. Let's, what was the guy's name again? Tekathol. All right. Vivisurgeon's Insight. No, I'm here. Look, I'll pet you. It's fine. Top Swag Code just gifted 5. Well, what is it now? Huh? What is it now? What do you want? What do you want from me? What do you want? Get out of here. Be gone. Don't bite my arm. Okay, I think we're in the clear. But Top Swag Code, thanks for gifting. Top Swag Code gives 5 subs and says, go back to Onkel and read it with more enthusiasm. Do you mean Unctus? My Uncle Unctus? Oh my god. Oh, wow. A 3-mana 2/4? Wow, that's overstated. Let's read the card. I can't wait to get to the end of this chapter. You know what? Anytime I ever buy a thriller, I go to the last chapter, I read it first. I know I shouldn't, but I'm just so fucking excited to read this card. All right, let's go to the end. Pay a Phyrexian blue. Oh my god, that used to be a broken mechanic. I can't believe Mark Roadwater is giving me a little bit of a treat. It's incredible. Until the end of turn, target creature you control becomes a blue artifact in addition to its other colors and types. Oh my god, I could make a red card not just an artifact, but also blue, and all I have to do is hurt myself a little bit? Oh my god, as a resident pain piggy, this card is made for me. I hurt myself in order to have a mediocre effect that I can't even cast on the opponent's turn. I am hard. Let's read the first two. Whew, oh my god, my feet are cramping and my eyes are rolling back up in my head. I hope I can pull them back down straight so I can read the first two paragraphs of this fucking card. All right. Other blue creatures. Oh shit, it's affecting everybody blue now. You control have whenever this creature becomes tapped, draw a card, then discard a card. Holy shit, I can turn a card sideways and then I get something and lose something and nothing's really changed except it had to do hard work. My god, that's exactly how the economy works in America. I can relate to this fucking thing. Other artifact creatures you control get +1/+1. It's a lord. It lords everything up. That's what I'm talking about. Wow. Holy shit, this card makes me want to blue myself after reading this text. And all that for a 3-mana 2/4? It's unbelievable. All right, let's get out of this card. And now I'm going to look at this, and it's like Vivisurgeon's Insight. 3 and a pair of blues. Draw 3 cards, proliferate. Done. That's the whole card. That's the whole card. You know what? I feel like I've already blown all of my energy on the previous card. So now this is just like a sorcery speed draw proliferator. Don't eat my keyboard. Don't eat my keyboard. That's the print screen button. I know. Okay, now she meows, huh? This card is so mediocre. It's so mediocre. If this were on TikTok, I would be like, oh, I'm 1 second in. Yeah, it has like 12 likes. Scroll up on that one. Let's leave that one in the double digits. Oh, Watchful Blister Zoa. Oh my god. Watchful Blister Zoa. 4 and a pair of blues for a Phyrexian jellyfish. Big fan of jellyfish over here. Flying Watchful Blister Zoa enters the battlefield with an oil counter on and just ran headfirst into a door frame that was covered in baby oil on its way into the air, and that's why it's entering with an oil counter. When Watchful Blister Zoa dies, draw cards equal to the number of oil counters on it. This is so much work. I mean, this is a lot. This is like when you bought all your furniture at IKEA and you go home and someone says, well, let's not pay someone to build it. Let's build it ourselves. It'll be fun. This is a lot of work. This is a lot of work just to make it redraw itself. This is crazy. Beyond Bright gifts 5 subs. Thanks, Beyond Bright. It says, kindly rate this card based only on the image, not the text. Wow, I love the Undersea Matrix. Man, when the Sentinels were going after Neo and Morpheus and Flenser, I mean, the Sentinels really were the scariest part of that entire movie. And so the fact that they have teamed up with James Cameron to put the threat of the machines into the world of Pandora, I can't wait. I can't wait. Octopuses, as the Octa would suggest, means they evolve to have 8 little tentacles. But I like the imagination of, what if we didn't stop there? What if evolutionarily, the more tentacles, the better? So yeah. I mean, honestly, I'm a big fan of like undersea creatures and undersea horrors and all that sort of stuff. Reading about deep sea gigantism, and I want the Kraken to exist. Like my whole life, I've wanted the Kraken to exist. I want someone to just be like, holy shit, we put James Cameron in a submersible, we sent him to the Mariana Trench, and he found a fucking Kraken. It ate him. He's gone. We're only going to have Avatar 2, and everyone will go, oh, huh, that's too bad. That made like $1 billion every week or something like that. That's a lot of money. Wow, yeah. Don't bet against him unless it's in a submersible. So yeah, I think this card makes me think about Matrix, makes me think about undersea life, makes me think about things that I enjoy. So it gets a 5. There you go. I did it. Good job, Sean. High five. All right. Ambulatory Edifice. Oh my God, we did it. It took us 2 hours and 4 minutes. But my God, we hit the part of Wooburg. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to a baby break screen, and we're going to come right back and begin reviewing Ambulatory Edifice. Here we go.